You mentioned this early, and so I always like to kind of get the backstory a little bit, but I want to now dive a little bit into the TEDx talk itself. And you mentioned this a little bit earlier when you're talking about what's unique, that hiring people is a huge, huge thing at stake here. And you mentioned that in your TEDx. Tell us a little bit more about what you mean the stakes to hiring the right person is huge.
So let's go back to the TEDx process. So when
Okay.
I was going through the TEDx process, there was they give you feedback on the talk. And
Hmm.
one of the feedbacks that I received was make the talk more applicable to the public. In other words, my talk was specifically on how to hire someone. So that's seemingly a small audience, right, of hiring managers.
Yeah.
And they said, no, 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 turn it around, make it more applicable to people who are getting jobs. Hey, how do you get a job? And I said, no, I wanted to focus on the people doing the hiring because those are the people that affect the masses, right? If I talk to the masses, I'm pretty much speaking to the choir. Everybody knows kind of dress up a little bit, squeak up your resume, trim your nails, whatever you have to do
Yeah.
to
Yes.
get
Yeah.
in there, right? But
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to the people who, in
Hmm.
some cases, are making the lives of people not happy. And what do I mean by that is we have an old way of leadership. There's a thought process that, it's a very top-down leadership. I'm going to get this thing done. But what I think people miss when they have that kind of top-down leadership and they don't look at the person they're leading is that these people have families. They've got husbands, they've got wives, they've got children, they've got grandchildren. And if you really one want to be a great leader, you need to look at the person and find what motivates them. What is it about them that they like to do? Is it this job? Great. If it's this job, hire them. If it's not, don't hire them. You want to find the thing that motivates that person, and you'll get the best out of that person. And that person will then go home and have a great home life. I think the stakes are huge because we've got, if you take the United States, we've got, I think, 150, almost 200 million people in the workforce. But you go farther and you go globally, we've got billions of people in the workforce. And what effect are managers having on these billions of people? If they're hiring people into the wrong positions, we've got billions of miserable people. That's no way to live a life. You can't go around living a miserable life. So the onus to me is on hiring managers. If you're in a leadership position, we've got to do better. We've got to do a lot better.
Got to do a lot better. You kind of laid that out because you said, okay, I'm not going to speak to the person who's looking for the job because there's books like 1,000 interview questions how to answer those. So they kind of get that wired. And then though, this is I'm just going to say this my own little commercial. This is what this podcast is about. This channel is about. Our publication company is about. It's the leaders that are making the difference. It's the leaders that are sending people back home feeling good or feeling bad, having a good family life. It's the leaders in the organization. So I applaud you for saying, okay, hey guys, I'm going to give this TEDx talk, but I'm not going to change it and try to make it something that I don't mean it to do. So I think that takes a lot of guts. Yeah.
And Glenn, to your point, focusing on leadership, why do you want to be a leader? Why do people actually go into that? Is it we go into that because we want the title? Is it
Mm-hmm.
because we think this is something we think we should do? Leadership has burdens associated with it. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. We've got all these sayings out here: with great power comes great responsibility. But if you really think about it, it's true. If you're a leader and you're in that position for a selfish reason, you may get short-term great results because of some kind of management style. But if you don't actually want to lead people, care about what motivates them, care about the product or industry you're in, long-term results just aren't going to be there. You can only lead by fear for so long.
Well, and that's why it stuck out, and that's why I made a bottom third. You're saying it's more than the position; it's more than the title. To be a pretty good leader, you also got to know how to hire people, but it also sounds like you're saying you got to know how to help people Be better people. Help your employees be better employees.
I mean, that's really it. And sometimes a part of leadership is, you get into a role and you assess the people on your team. And one of the things about leadership is identifying maybe this isn't the role for them. Not saying you're going to get rid of them, but if you're looking at someone and maybe they're unhappy, maybe their performance is suffering, maybe this just isn't the right role. We need to rotate you to a different department, a different sector, a different industry, or maybe we need to get you out of here, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to help you be a better person. Leadership to me is more, yes, we work for companies, we have to hit the bottom line. That's what we're there to do. But if you want sustained long-term results, the best leaders, and if everybody listening to this thinks about who their best managers were, who their best leaders were, it's that person that spent some extra time with them, talked to them about work, talked to them about their life, and really got to know them and motivate them. That's what we associate with great leaders. And I just think we need more of that out there.
I would tend to agree with you.